Hello and welcome back to Bookmark Chronicles. Today I'm doing another round of giving authors a second chance. Now I'm posting this now and probably will actually finish and wrap this up sometime in 2024 since we're so close to the end of the year, but I just wanted to get this out there. I have a list of 6 authors that I'm going to try to give a second chance, and in my last wrap up did I say that I wanted to stop giving a second chance to authors who I previously DNF'd? Yes. Did I actually take that advice? No. And to be fair, Kosoko Jackson was a success. So maybe some of these authors just need a second chance, you know? So the first author that I have is Nicole Falls. I DNF'd Sugar Butter Flower Love, which is a novella that is available on Kindle Unlimited. It was supposed to be a enemies to lovers, small town cooking competition romance, which sounded amazing. However, did not care for the main character, did not like some of the conversations between her and her grandmother, and also it just seemed like the conflict between her and the love interest was going to be fucking stupid, so I didn't care. To find another book to read by her, I looked at her Goodreads. I did use Goodreads instead of StoryGraph just because Goodreads has more information on it. So I looked at Goodreads and found a book that was highly rated by her, and I believe this is another novella, and it is called 8 Naughty Nights. What is it about? I don't remember. Don't ask. But I'm gonna give it a try and see how it goes. It sounded interesting. I did actually read a few synopses to put together this list. Did I retain any of that information? No, but that's not the point. The second author that I have is Meka James. So I read Mechanics of Love, which was actually the third in a series, and I did not know that. And I didn't hate it, I just didn't like the main character in that one. And because I was so turned off by the main character, I didn't feel like going back to read the other 2 books in the series because I knew the main character from that book would also be present in those because it is a companion novel series. Mechanics of Love I rated 3 stars, so it wasn't terrible. Like I said, the main character was just terrible, but the book that I'm going to read to give her a second chance is Anything Once. And I also found that one by looking at Goodreads. The third author that we have is Kelleye Garrett. So I DNF'd Hollywood Homicide, the first in the Detective by Day cozy mystery series. Me DNFing a cozy mystery is nothing new. So I don't necessarily think that it was her writing that irritated me. It was pretty formulaic the way that a cozy mystery is. I didn't like the main character, which I typically don't, and that ends up being the reason that I end up DNFing. So nothing new there. I do have Like a Sister, and it's on my TBR for Blackoween, so hopefully if I read this one, I'll enjoy it. I also know not to get the audiobook because I tried listening to the audio of Hollywood Homicide and it was narrated by Bonnie Turpin, who I dislike as a narrator. So I'm going to read Like a Sister with my eyeballs and see how that goes. I do know that this one is about someone dying and it being diagnosed as an overdose, and her sister does not believe that that is the case. So there is still probably going to be some amateur sleuthing. However, this one is more of a murder mystery, thrillery type book, so I'm hoping that it works out in my favor. Then I have John Mars. So I did a read and watch and review of the book The One by John Mars and the Netflix series. I will have that linked. The book and the show are very different, so just keep that in mind if you are interested in that. But I did enjoy the book more than the series, and I think I rated it 4 stars. Yeah, I rated it 4 stars. And then Sophie said that I needed to read The Passengers, but that I had to listen to the audio of it. So because I enjoyed the one, I am looking forward to reading another book by John Mars. And I actually would recommend the one. It's about this sort of dating site that uses DNA to match people to their soulmate. However, for some people that's great. For some people, it's fucking up their marriage. It's making them question and second guess the relationship that they're in. So some people are happy about it, some people are not. And then we're following 6 different characters as they find their matches. And some of the storylines were wild and unexpected, and I had a fun time with it. So I am excited to give this author another try. Then I have Mimi Grace. So Mimi Grace has the cutest cartoon covers for her romances, hands down. However, I tried to read along for the ride and I ended up DNFing it pretty early on. I do have a DNF review of it, so I'll leave that linked in the cards and in the description. For me, it was supposed to be like an enemies to lovers, and the conflict was just fucking dumb. Like, it just didn't make sense and it felt stupid. So I'm going to read Make a Scene because I have heard really great things about it. I see that cover everywhere all the time, and I really just want to like Mimi Grace because I love her cover so much. And if I like the books, then I can buy them and add more to my little romance shelf, which is off screen but up there, because it's only one shelf. There's not much up there, so you know, if we could bulk that up a little bit, you know, now that I'm in my romance girly era. But I am hoping that I enjoy this book. Do I remember what it's about? No. But I do remember that when I read the synopsis, it sounded intriguing. And the last author that I have on this list is Shari Lapena. So Robin bought me The Couple Next Door a few years ago. I read it and I rated it 4.75 stars. Loved it. It was messy and dramatic. Very reminiscent of a movie that I watched. And I don't want to say the name of the movie because if you've seen the movie, then you know how it ends. But it was really good. I had a fun time with it. It was very Lifetime movie-esque. I also now have Stranger in the House. But do I know what it's about? No. However, I had such a good time with The Couple Next Door that I have very high hopes for Miss Lapena. I know she had another release this year and I was gonna request an arc of it, but I didn't because I still haven't read Stranger in the House. But I'm really hoping that this is an author that could potentially be an auto-buy for me, one that I just know I'm gonna have a good time with. You know, it's gonna be messy, it's gonna be dramatic, but it's gonna be fun. So hopefully I'm right about that and I end up enjoying this book as well. If I don't like this next book, I probably still would give Shari Lapena at least one more try because that is how much I enjoyed The Couple Next Door. But those are the 6 authors that I'm going to give a second chance. So hopefully we have a better success rate than we did last time. If I'm not mistaken, there was only one author that I gave a second chance to that I would actually read again. But let me know if you have read any of these authors, if you have other books by them that you think I might enjoy. Otherwise, that's all I have for you today, and I'll see you in the next video.